Second City is a very special place. Hundreds upon hundreds of your favorite celebrities have come out of here, and now also these guys. Some of these folks have never stepped on stage before tonight. So they've been working on their material hard. They're gonna need a lot of love, laughter, and clapping from you guys. You guys ready to start that right now? Yeah! Charlie, everyone!
Hello. I'd like to take this opportunity to welcome most of you. I wanted, before we get started, housekeeping and some disclosures we need to go through. The housekeeping, if any of you have been at Camp Lejeune since 1988, just call the number 1-800-460-8716 so they will stop those commercials. In disclosure, you know the saying, they've saved the best for last? Well, that's true. That's why I'm first. And I want to thank my departed mother, because instead of, thanks to her, when Angie introduced me as Welcome Charlie Garrido, had she not intervened when we became citizens, it would have been Welcome Carlos Enrique Garrido Fernandez. So I was estranged from my parents for 9.5 years. And one day my mother called and said she was dying and that she wanted me to come visit her. So I hopped on a plane to North Havana, well that's Miami, where 95.9% of the Cubans live outside of Cuba. And I went to see her, and it was very shocking. She was very frail, she had gone gray, very pale, jaundiced, and was on oxygen. And she apologized, and we had 2 wonderful days together, and I promised her that I would bring back the next month my daughter, her granddaughter, who at the time was 22 years old and she had not seen in 10 years. 3 days before we arrived to North Havana, she passed away. And when we got there in time for the service, and we took my dad out to lunch, and he explained the service starts at 6 o'clock and we need to be there on time. And so my daughter and I showed up at 6 o'clock to the funeral home, which is an hour early in Cuban time for a 6 o'clock start. So my daughter Ashley is very kind, and she said, I will find out what salon Abuela is in. And she said, oh, she's here in Salon A, and the big French doors, and there's clearly an open casket, lots of flowers. We opened the French doors, and I walked towards the casket, and I said, this is not my mother. This is a Japanese woman. My daughter was horrified. And of course we did the only right thing, is we stepped back slowly, not to awake the dead. And upon further investigation, that was the right salon for my mother. And when I looked at her more with a more intense eye, that was her dressed in a kimono. Her hair had been dyed jet black, and she had a light powdered face and ruby red lips. All right, so I need to tell you that Cubans, we're very funny, we're very hardworking people, but we are batshit crazy. So the reason you start at 6 p.m. is because so that everyone can come after work to meet everyone that they're really good friends with only when people die. And it starts at 6 p.m. and it's fueled with Cuban coffee and stories about going back to Cuba or not going back to Cuba. And I noticed that when people looked in the open casket, no one said the standard. She looks so pretty. It's like she's sleeping. She's never looked better. They just looked away. So, 6 months later, I'm down in Miami, North Havana, visiting my dad, and he says, I want to talk to you, and I want the truth, and I don't want you to lie to me. This is a serious matter. I said, sure. And he says, do you think your mother looked Japanese? I said, yes, what happened? What happened? He goes, well, you know, your mother's weight fluctuated so much that I knew that the only thing that would fit her, no matter how weight she was that kimono that we bought in South Korea for a Halloween costume. And I told the funeral director to go ahead and give her a nice powdered face with big red lips and dye her hair black. So, ladies and gentlemen, my mother was cremated as a fucking geisha. I want to introduce you to my next person up here is one of my 8 favorite stand-ups. Sonia.
As a geisha. Oh my God. All right, guys, I'm Sonia. This is my first stand-up show, like all these beautiful people here. So give it a round. And so, you know, my mom is here tonight too. She's coming from good old Florida. Give it up for her. And, you know, she's the reason I went into stand-up comedy. You know, she is so certain that I'm gonna make it big. She's like, you know, my Sonia, she is going to be famous. You'll see. She is going to have a Netflix special. She is going to do really, really, really well. And, you know, I love her confidence. I really, really do. I mean, outside of stand-up comedy, my day job, I'm an emergency medicine doctor. I'm so accomplished, you know. Successful. But, you know, my mom, she's always telling me, you know, Sonia, I cannot wait until your life starts. Because my life has not started yet. You know, I can only, you know, pay all my bills. I have a retirement account, a savings account. I can pay my rent. You know, I'm doing pretty well. But not well enough. You know, I'm not married. Yes, there is no ring on this finger, and sure does my mom let me know that. You know, we were getting our nails done, and it's very pleasant, you know, and my mom's like, do you see that girl over there? You see her? You know what she has that you don't have? A ring. I'm like, okay, Mom, let me just enjoy my Halloween nails, please, please. So, you know, in my 20s, I did everything I could to not get married, honestly. So, have you guys ever watched American Psycho or Twilight? Right? Edward Cullen. Let's just say that was my type. A sociopathic serial killer. It was really exciting. It was like, am I gonna live or die? I don't know. So I took these serial killers to meet my family, naturally. And my mom, she would make this beautiful big Bengali spread. My parents are from Bangladesh. So great, delicious food. And by the 3rd serial killer, my mom was like, all right, I guess Sonia is going to marry one of these serial killers. You know, Sonia, if you can love a dog, you can love a man. It can work. I really believe in it. So yeah, you know, I tried love these dogs, men, whatever. And at this point in my life, all of my siblings are married or about to get married, and they are all doctors. So I know, crazy. So I'm really not that successful in my family. I am the disappointment. But my youngest sister, Selena, who's not here tonight, she's dating this very nice guy, Chris, who is not a serial killer. He's actually a very lovely guy. And she's always like, oh my God, Sonia, I just can't wait to get married and engaged. I wonder what my ring is gonna look like. I just can't wait for my life to start. And I'm always like, shut the fuck up, Selena. Fucking hear that? And now, it's gotten to the point where my mom will just take my phone, like she's gonna find something fucking interesting in there, and she just goes through it, and she's like, so, who is Andrew? Who is Andrew? And, hey, Andrew. And Andrew is one of my gay guy friends. And my mom's like, you don't have any straight guy friends? And I'm like, no, Mom, all my guy friends are gay. And her face is like, oh my God. Because, Mom, in my 20s, I fucked all my straight guy friends. So it was like, fuck them. I had short-term relationships with them. Some of them were long-term relationships, regrettably. So moral of the story, don't fuck your, straight guy friends or you won't have any when you're 30s. So no friends for me. And so my mom was going through my Netflix and, she was like, Sonia, you watch a lot of things about cats. And I'm like, yes, Mom, I do. For the love of God, please don't get another cat. Don't be that person. What my mom doesn't know is I'm a walking stereotype. I am a woman in my 30s. I have a very cute, obese cat, 8 years old. Can't be here tonight. I have a bevy of gay guy friends that are supporting me here too. So, woo, yes. And I order a lot of takeout. And I also have no prospects on the horizon. Not a single one. And you want to know something? It's amazing. It's so good. Because I once took one of you dogs or men and I took you into my home and I tried to love you and nurture you. I would tell you to shower after 5 days because you smelled like shit. You would be like, stop telling me what to do, woman. I would watch your fucking shitty TV shows, watch you play Call of Duty and your stupid football teams lose. I would fucking have sex with you while you laid on your back and I was doing the cowgirl. Are we done yet? Damn. I did a lot. And when I showed my mom the cowgirl part, she wasn't like, wow, Sonia, you're shaking your ass on stage in front of all these damn strangers. She was more like, wow, a real man does the work. And so, what I think is, I don't think I need to love a man like a dog. Because even though men and dogs are very similar, they are, the thing that men have and women have that dogs don't are opposable thumbs. See, yeah, you can move. You see that? So you can grab things and pick them up. And so you can pick up your own shit, okay? Thank you, guys.
All right. How we doing? Good. Happy to hear that. I grew up religious, or let me rephrase that. My parents grew up religious, and they made it my problem. When I was younger, I would always ask my priest, is God a man or is God a woman? And my priest would always tell me to stop asking so many questions and finish up. But But the thing is, here's the thing. If God's a woman, I sometimes think about the Crusades. You know, historians estimate between 1 and 9 million Christians and Muslims died during the Crusades, as well as some Jews that were trying to mind their own business. But in this time, while all this carnage was happening, like, was she just in heaven like, oh my God, they are totally fighting over me? Like, it's super immature, but like, it's kind of cute. Some angel is like, I mean, which one do you like more, the Christians or the Muslims? Well, like, I just kind of want them to figure it out. Like, if I get involved, it'll be a whole thing. All right, well, village of women and children were just slaughtered. And like, it's not ideal. But if I get involved, it's gonna cause more drama. Yeah. But you know, I believe that God is a man because based on what I've read from the Bible, he is wholly unpragmatic, and that makes sense. I'll give you an example. Is anybody here familiar with the story of Adam and Eve? The OG one, the first one? Yeah. So for those that aren't familiar, here are the cliff notes. God made the world in 7 days. And and he said to Adam and Eve, he said, hey, you can have anything you want to eat in this garden. Just don't eat this apple. I imagine Adam was like, okay. Is it like poisonous or something? Nah, it's actually delicious. Oh, all right. Are you gonna eat it? I'm God, dude. I don't really need to eat. It's not part of my thing. Okay, I mean, it just seems kind of weird that you would make a delicious apple that you had no intention of anyone ever eating. But I mean, hey, you're the boss. I'll let you know. Hey, babe. Yeah, no, babe, don't eat that apple. Yeah, the one hanging from the tree. Yeah, the tree in the center of the garden. Yeah, I don't know. You just said don't. Wait, what? You've been talking to who? Really? I didn't know they could talk. All right, I mean, I guess I'll run it by him. I mean, it couldn't hurt. Hey, God. Yo. So my girl's been talking to the snake. She what? The snake. She was conversing with the reptile. Really? I didn't know they could talk. Oh, call me off guard too, man. Call me off guard. But well, the snake said to her is that seeing as how you have executive authority over everything that goes into the garden, you wouldn't make an apple unless you really secretly wanted us to eat it. The snake said that? Yeah. Trifling motherfucker. Look, I just don't eat the apple. Do as I say, okay? Don't listen to the snake. Do what I say. No problem. For what it's worth, I think the snake makes some logical arguments, though. Oh, really? This doesn't make good points, huh? Is that right? Did the snake give you this garden? You're naked right now. Your dick's out. You don't even care. Did the snake give you that confidence? Good. Got it. Hey, man, yeah, I'll pass the message along. Hey, babe. Yeah, he's really attached to that apple. Like, I really think you should just let it be. What? You already took a bite? Ah, okay. All right. Yeah, just give it here. Fuck, that's delicious. Hey, Adam. Hey! What's up, boss man? How we doing? Doing good? Why are you being weird? I'm not being weird. Did you eat the apple? What? Did you eat the apple? No, I didn't eat the apple. Of course I didn't. Well, you know I'm God, right? I'm omnipotent. And I can also see the fucking apples not on the tree. Okay, yeah, I may have eaten the apple. Jesus Christ, Adam. Who? Don't worry about it. Look, didn't I give you some very specific instructions? You did. What were those instructions? You said don't eat the apple. I said don't eat the apple. And what did you do? I ate the apple. You ate the fucking apple. All right? Really, you know what? You're gonna have to get out of my garden. Get out. No, wait, come on, man. I think you might be misdirecting your anger just a little bit. Who should I be aiming my anger at? Eve maybe ate the apple. I mean, she what? You did. What, you're gonna act like this was my idea? This is totally your idea. Oh yeah, it was the snake's idea. He didn't even know they could talk. Okay, oh really? Oh yeah, because you just had to eat everything. No, that's not a crack about your weight. I mean, you're being hysterical. God, you see what I'm dealing with. Yeah, very classy, Adam. Just blame the woman as if you have no agency in your own decision making. Just, you know what? Get the fuck out right now. Dude, you're clearly overreacting to this. Overreacting? You know what? Just for that, I'm inventing slavery. That is that an overreaction? I mean, come on, man. Like, I really don't think it's fair. No, play stupid games, win stupid prizes. Stupid game, you set this game up. I'm not the one that created Paradise and then called attention to the fucking self-destruct button. Yeah, you play that game, it's my game. It's called Fuck Around and Find Out. You guys have been great. Thank you very much.
God, give it up for that. That was so fun. Hi, everybody. My name is Ariel, and I work in politics. I'm a lobbyist. My two best friends are here, also lobbyists. Who here knows lobbyists, right? We have a great reputation. We're known for our kindness and our overall just like wonderful nature. I was actually started my day at a canvas this morning. For those of you who don't know, there's actually an election coming up November 8th. So make sure you get out and vote. There is actually the Workers' Rights Amendment. This is just me talking to you now about that. But you should definitely vote yes for that because we stand for unions and labor here. So I work a lot, and I'm actually going on a trip ahead of Election Day, which is a big fucking no-no in my world. And I'm actually going to Korea on Wednesday. I'm really excited. It's gonna be a lot of fun going as part of an official American delegation. We're meeting with the US Ambassador. We're going to the DNC. The nerds know what that is, the demilitarization stuff. So yeah, we're gonna meet with the South Koreans, to be specific, and hopefully I don't get blown up. Yeah, I'll be back for Election Day, and I'm pumped for it. To my family's dismay, though, I'm an incredible disappointment in so many ways. Which is it's funny because I think here in Chicago, my friends are always like, God, your family must be so proud of you. You know, you do all this amazing work, and on these boards and stuff. They're not. I'm Cuban, and so my family's mostly Republican. I'm a Democrat. Right. I'm 34 and single. Strike two. I don't have kids. So there's just like a lot of shit happening in my life, obviously. And last year, I go home for Christmas. I'm from Miami, Florida. Shout out to everybody who's been to Florida. I'm sorry. But I love going home for the holidays because I like to get away from the cold. And yeah, I'm there for like a couple days and ready to get away from my family. And it's Christmas and they sit me down. And I was like, God, what's happening? Like, why am I in an intervention all of a sudden? And I'm not an alcoholic, although I know that is what an alcoholic would say. But I've also never done like real some coke off of a stripper. And I'm from Miami, guys. Like, it's a big deal. So like, I like to think I have my life pretty much in order, but no, they sit me down, the whole family, and they get really serious. It's like, oh shit, what did I do? They look at me, it's like, Ariel, if you want to go ahead and inseminate yourself. And I was like, fuck, okay, I think, thanks. I wasn't quite ready for the insemination intervention, but good news, I'm pitching it to A&E next week. So something good will come from that. So I decided this summer I'm gonna freeze my eggs. It's a really expensive process. And you would think if you're paying somebody like $10,000 for this, I'm gonna get right in there, but no. I'll make the appointment. This like lovely woman on the phone, and she's like, okay, honey, like, does 2:30 work? I was like, yeah, 2:30 when? Like, April 20th, 2023. And I was like, ma'am, do you realize that I'm already a huge disappointment? And I can't even get my eggs frozen in a timely fashion. Like, I need you to really help me out here. So part of the problem is that I don't make time for dating, right? Dating fucking sucks. Okay, good. You'll agree with me. Right? Dating is trash. Been on the apps. It's just like not fun. And I'm convinced that like whoever created the term like work-life balance is some fucking trust fund white chick who like doesn't get what like a first generation American goes through, right? Like come from an immigrant family and like work hustle is like beat into you with a flip-flop. So I work a ton, and even though I'm not dating anybody, I think about my future husband a lot. And he already annoys me. So do the kids. And I think about my kids too, and like I'm sure they're adorable. But I think kids are like politicians in a lot of ways, right? You gotta like, I used to be a scheduler, a political scheduler, right? So I'm thinking to myself like, okay, you gotta like schedule them, you gotta get them places on time. That's one thing. Then you gotta like watch them like a hawk, because they're always putting stuff in their mouths. So yeah, it seems like a lot of work, and so people really romanticize it too, but my husband, I hope he's miserable wherever he is, because I am, and I don't want happiness for him quite yet. So while I'm at home on a Friday watching Lifetime and eating my hummus, I hope he's fucking sad. But I love him already. So with that, I want to present to you your next comic. You guys have been great. Adriana.
Welcome. Glad to see so many familiar faces here. Hi, my name's Adriana, and I'm an alcoholic. Oh shit, sorry, wrong meeting. That was after this, I apologize. Alright, so Halloween is my favorite time of year. You get to wear whatever the hell you want. You also get to go out to a bunch of parties, and you know, in my case, I would drink a lot. But not this year. This year, I've decided not to do that because I'm not drinking. And with that, I was like, all right, going to one of these Halloween parties, I will have too much temptation. And no, I'm not talking about the hot girl in cop outfit, not that one. No, I'm talking about the alcohol. So I was like, all right, I'm in my AA meeting. We have a Halloween party next weekend. And I was like, okay, a sober Halloween party. I'm thinking what you all are. That sounds like as fuck. And I'm like, all right, this is my life now. Like, I'm gonna embrace it. And I'm like, okay, I'm like broke. Hey, I'm not broke, but like, I am broke, but yeah, I don't look it. So like, I'm like, okay, let me figure out what do I have in my closet. What can I wear? And I'm like, oh, perfect. I have an Oktoberfest beer maid outfit. This is going to be great. And so I tell my friend about it, and they're like, how sick are you? And I'm like, why? Why am I sick? And they're like, you're going to wear a beer maid outfit to a sober Halloween party. And I'm thinking to myself, like, okay, all right, this is kind of fucked up. Like, all right, maybe I should rethink this. But as time goes on, I'm thinking, okay, I might just win this Halloween costume because there's a bunch of recovering alcoholics in the room. And I'm a beer maid, so like, hey, next week I'll have my trophy. Alright, so I don't know if you guys have noticed in Chicago, all the dads taking their daughters out to dinner. Sugar babies and sugar daddies. So being the friend of a sugar baby is amazing. I've coined the term sugar cousin. Because like I get all the benefits of being a sugar baby, but I don't have to fuck daddy at the end of the night. So I'm like, great, sugar cousin, love it, love all my friends. And with that, I don't know if anybody here when they're a kid, you know, had like a dream. Mine was flying, and this year, I've decided to like try to change my life around, you know, dive headfirst into facing all my fears and challenges. So with that being said, I have this electric scooter, like the Divi or the Lyft ones you can ride, and I'm riding my scooter home from work one night. It's dark. I don't have good eyesight to begin with, so this was probably not a great idea. And I'm like riding this thing, and I'm like, beep beep, get out me way. And yeah, I see a car, and I'm like, oh shit, I should really get out the way. And I'm thinking, I'm like, all right, I'm getting on the sidewalk from the street, and then out of nowhere comes this curb. I go flying at 50 miles per hour, head first into a cast iron metal fence. Yeah, I had a black eye, concussion. I was in the ER. When I got out of the ER, I was returning home to my lovely roommate. Like, sorry, I've been gone for 24 hours. But so when I met my roommate, I didn't know her at all. So I asked all the questions, what weird shit do you do? How clean are you? I made her take a personality test, like the Myers-Briggs personality test. It takes like 15 minutes of your time. And I'm like, okay, all right. Turns out she's an INTP and I'm an ENTP. So that meaning like I'm extroverted, she's introverted, but we have the same personality type. And I was like, perfect, this is gonna be amazing. I didn't think to ask her if she had any kids, because she doesn't have kids. So I'm getting home from the ER, and I'm like, okay, walk in the door, and there's a small child in my living room. And I was like, oh God, how bad is this concussion? When did we get a kid? How long have I been out? Yeah, so we pick him up every week from daycare. I get dressed up in like a business outfit, like I just got off work, and she's in her sweatpants, and I'm like, we look like a happy, bisexual couple that we are. And then we're walking with our kid, and everyone's like, all right, like it probably seems way cooler than it really is. But yeah, so that is my roommate and our child. On that note, I have to go watch our kid because he's unattended right now. So for our next comedian, everyone give it up for Jake.
Hi, everybody. How are y'all doing tonight? All right, fellas in the audience. Can I hear all the fellas in the audience? All right, fellas, isn't it manly? When you're working on the backyard, you're making it look pristine. You're working on that deck, and you think, hell yeah, that's a fine-looking deck. Isn't that manly? Yeah. Fellas, isn't it manly when after you finish that deck, you head down to the bar with your boys and you're drinking 20 kegs of beer? Hell yeah. Fellas, isn't it manly to get proper medical attention for your mental health? Fuck yeah. So I got therapy this past week. Really excited about it. It's something I really need. I made a lot of self-deprecation jokes at the last open mic I did. Fucking dumbass I was. And I was talking to my therapist, we always talk about, how I have some sort of like, weird sort of like images of myself, self-image issue there. Like, I said to him, I see myself as an Adonis of a man. I'm a perfect specimen here. And he's like, don't you think you're being a little egotistical? I was like, what are you talking about? I don't know what you're talking about. But, that conversation sort of shifted into, how men see themselves in today, masculinity in today's society, how that relates to me. And I thought, okay, so there's a lot of, self-help gurus and male sort of, really, fake guys. You got Andrew Tate out there, who's sort of like preaching the word. Give me a second. Hear me out. And that's sort of just like, okay, so if that's what society says, I guess me being confident in myself is not masculine. I should figure out what dudes who pay for self-help gurus, how they see themselves as manly. So since they are going teaching themselves from an outdated standard, I should do the same and watch a bunch of 80s action movies to figure out how to make myself look manly. So I made a list. One, I started going to the gym, because you gotta look buff. You know, all these 80s action heroes, you can see every like rippling muscle on their arms. You got that one scene of Predator where him and where they're like slapping hands together and they're just like, ooh, they're like almost to burst. Here's the thing, they look great. They have positive body image of themselves, but the thing is that they also look terrifying. You know, they have this like always this constant like scowl on their faces. They look, if you say one word to them, they're going to explode and tear your head off. You know, like the perfect man. So yeah, had that. The other thing was, of course, watching a bunch of 80s action movies. They are good with the ladies. They know exactly what to say. They know exactly what to do with the ladies. Sometimes they don't even have to say anything, right? They can just sort of look at a woman and she immediately is just like, oh yeah, I want you. For example, Give me a second now. Works in the movies. Finally, of course, is the occupation of the perfect 80s action man. And that would be military or sort of just cop, you know, somebody who knows how to fight, somebody who knows how to use a gun, somebody who can karate chop anything perfectly. And so they always have this sort of like PTSD backstory. You know, my wife was killed by the mob. My brother was sacrificed me to the Yakuza, you know, and I've never been the same after that. And I thought, well, I worked customer service for 8 years, so I feel like I've served. So I got that covered there. And so as I was talking to my therapist at all these 80s action movies characters, and I have all these buff men in my head, I looked at him and said, do you think I'm gay? And he's like, well, what do you think? And I think, well, have you seen Idris Elba? For those of you who don't know who Idris Elba is, a very prolific actor. He's rumored to be the first black James Bond, and I want him to top me. That's beside the point, right? So after that whole funny thing, the conversation again shifted to, again, how men see themselves in there, how masculinity is seen today. And it's sort of become this fluid sort of concept. You know, how men, it's less turned into men being like these big, strong, screaming at you sort of figures, and instead turned into just confidence in yourself. It's all about, if you are confident in yourself, that is masculine. You can do whatever you want. I'm currently wearing the trans flag right here. I got blue, pink, and white. So just confidence in yourself everywhere. And it was great to hear that. I loved hearing that. It was just like somebody affirmed me and saying, like, oh yeah, you can be confident in whatever you wear, which is great for my Halloween costume. I stole a barmaid outfit that somebody left in Second City. It's gonna be fun walking around Chicago. Yeah. So I guess I got a few things to leave with you here as I close out here. One, be confident in yourself. No matter what you wear, no matter what you says, you gotta go out there and just be confident that you are yourself. Just be happy with yourself. Two, I'm probably bi. Three, I should sext my therapist, see if he's into it. Thank you guys. You guys joined the audience.
Thank you, Jake. The picture of masculinity, everybody. Hi, everybody. My name is Mary. I'm single, but I'm not too worried about it, in case anyone was worried for me. I have a great kind of picture of romance. My parents have been married for 34 years. And they're pretty different people, but I think that's maybe something that works for them. My mom is a pistol. She is the CEO of list making and could run an empire from our mother. When she's providing advice, it is detailed and lengthy and often unprompted. I'll give you an example here. About 2 years ago, I was minding my business on our family room couch, and she announced out of nowhere, she said, Mary, that's one of the things you're gonna have to worry about as a mother. Kids have a lot more allergies these days. I mean, yeah, for sure. But can you pick this up maybe like when I'm off your health insurance? My dad, on the other hand, is a don't worry, be happy creature of habit. He wears the same jeans every single day, watches the same Chicago sports while drinking a Bud Light. He's a consistent man. In college, I was struggling with a class, and the advice he gave me was, you just gotta do it, Mare. You just gotta. You gotta do it. And I kept waiting for him to elaborate on the it that I was supposed to just do. He was just kind of, repeating the same phrase, putting stress on different syllables. Interesting strategy. So here's another reason, another way that they show their differences, is finding out that I smoke weed. So you know how Amazon has pre-filled addresses that are attached to all of your accounts? Instead of sending my one-hitters to my apartment here in the city, Amazon sent them to my childhood home and addressed the package to my mother. Thanks. And once I owned up to the paraphernalia being mine, my parents had very different reactions. My dad fist bumped me. Doug's been around the block. My mom, on the other hand, said, what if you can't have kids? Probably don't need to worry about the allergies thing, right? One thing that they agree on, though, is foul language. They hate it when I say the F word. They find it very unladylike. And now I take stand-up classes. So they hate it when I say the F word, but there was one notable exception. I played lacrosse in high school, and my dad was less familiar with lacrosse as a game, but found ways to coach me that applied to sports universally. He would say, you gotta attack the ball, and stay on them, and why are you crying? So after one of the particularly frustrating games, I was walking off the field, I was at the stage, it's the wrong environment. And I was really frustrated with a teammate of mine, and I said to my dad, I said, well, she's blaming us because she can't stay with her girl, and it's fucking bullshit. And I expected a lecture, but I've never seen him happier. He was so happy. He was so lit up that I was so fired up about sports that I swore. He was like, she is my daughter, I'll sign the birth certificate. Dougie. I also have two brothers here tonight. Yes. Growing up, I would do just about anything to have my brothers see me as cool or one of them, and it still takes up about 15% of my personality. The 15% that's caused me to start playing pool, to memorize Nacho Libre references, and to wear my shower towel around my waist instead of around my neck. When I was 7, my mom sat me down and she was like, it's not a style choice. And now at 24, I'm like, it is though. My brothers could also get me to go along with anything. One time when my parents were away, they decided to throw a party, and I was 10. And I was lit up about it. I was like, yes, what can I do? And we all had our designated roles, like any good team. My oldest brother, T, was in charge of getting the alcohol for the party, a necessary ingredient. Sam was in charge of cleanup the next day, and my job during the party was to be somewhere else. My brother T told me that if I slept over at a friend's house the night of the party, then he would take me and a friend to Six Flags Great America the next day. Give it up. And this should have been more of an ethical dilemma for me because I was currently enrolled in our school's DARE program. DARE, I was a succeeding student from DARE. And for those of you who don't know, DARE is a program designed to inform middle schoolers about the dangers and consequences of illicit substances. And the only consequences I saw, though, from their party was getting to ride roller coasters and unlimited access to funnel cakes. The next day at DARE, I was like, aren't consequences supposed to be bad? In the end, I got to ride Giant Drop, and my brothers got to have their party, and my parents got to live out their dream of saying, we told you so. So of course they found out. But I didn't rat on them, to put that on the record. Sam left out the blender because I guess they attracted a big daiquiri crowd. Weird high school party, guys. We also had a pretty major anti-snitch policy as siblings. I didn't tell my parents when T would let go of the steering wheel and force me to drive at the ripe age of 9. I didn't tell my parents when Sam put holes in our drywall, shooting his BB gun pellets at my poster of Nick Jonas. And I didn't tell my parents when I found a vat of cocaine in Sam's room. It did turn out to be protein powder, but so know that. Thank you very much, guys. Next up is Erica.
Mary, you can assure your mother that you can still have kids. Hey, my name's Erica. How you guys all doing? How many of you guys been on job interviews? I've done a lot of job interviews. I sat through a lot of job interviews, and I've noticed that everybody is full of shit. Nobody gives their honest answer. Nobody. Nobody tells the truth. And maybe as an interviewer, I'm giving bullshit questions. I don't know. Can you give me 3 strengths? And of course, the obvious answer is always, I'm very efficient, I'm very good people skills, I'm a great problem solver. But what if they gave you the truth? The honest answers. What's your 3 strengths? Well, I can polish off 6 to 8 Heinekens and smoke a pack of cigarettes and still show up on time for work. I work great with people if they leave me the fuck alone. And I am the biggest procrastinator there is. Therefore, I work great under pressure. Now, what are your 3 weaknesses? Now, this is the honest truth, the 3 weaknesses. Well, I get bored easily and I tend to wander around the building. I tend to over-criticize my supervisor. And I tend to step on my coworkers' toes, but it's not my fault that they wear fucking clown shoes. I love when an interviewer will ask you a question and try to catch you off guard. What is your spirit animal and why? Well, the obvious answer is a lion. They're courageous, they're loyal, they're brave. I was asked this question once and I said, I'm a honey badger. These animals are fearless and have no regard for other animals. No regard. Just like me. When I come to work and I don't want to hear your bullshit. I don't want to hear that your husband's a moron. I don't want to hear that your kids are jackasses and your wife's a 2-bit whore. After bullshitting through this interview, you finally get the job. You get the job. And after 3.5 minutes, I already want to quit this fucking thing. In my head, I'm thinking, I can't wait to tell everybody to go fuck themselves. 3.5 minutes, that's all it took, and I just wanted to march right out. Every day I come in with the same bullshit. There was that guy that would bang his keyboard on his desk and talk to himself. And every day I'm like, this is the day he's gonna kill us. And I would look out for the exits. And there was that woman that would always come in and she would sing and whistle every song on the radio. And she couldn't whistle, nor could she sing. And I always got stuck next to that one person that always wanted to eat her breakfast and her lunch at her desk. One morning I walked in and it stunk so bad. I'm like, Jennifer, do you have your shoes off? She goes, my shoes are on. I'm eating Fritos at 9 a.m. in the morning. 9 a.m. And then at noon, she would eat Cheetos. And she would take that bag and tip it upside down and she'd shake it and hit the end of the bag. She'd fuck, and crumble her mouth. And she looked at me and she had orange dust all over her face, and Cheetos in her hair, like a 3-year-old slob. I said, what, Jennifer? She's like, could you give me those profit and loss reports? I said, give me 5 minutes. I'm on Indeed.com looking for a new job. She hands me back this paperwork. She has orange fingerprints all over it. I said, Jennifer, don't you ever commit a crime. They will pick you up within seconds. Every day I just kept thinking about quitting. And if you keep thinking that, it's going to happen. So I marched in. I was going to give my 2 weeks notice, but I gave 20 seconds instead. I said, fuck you and fuck this place. I went to my desk, I grabbed my candy dish, I grabbed my coffee of the mug, my employee of the month cup, and I shooted my tits right out that door. I was so mad. Right out there. My coworker yells, Erica, Erica. And I said, what? And I stopped. I thought, she's gonna beg me to stay. She's like, you forgot your purse. I had my purse. I took it. I took my Dr. Pepper and I dumped it all the way out to the door. And you wanna know why? 'Cause I hated that fucking janitor too.